What's up, guys, and welcome to another edition of the Cities Skyline gameplay. So for those who've been following me, I started this beautiful city a couple of weeks ago and it's doing great. In this video, I'm just going to show you how you could build your toll booths and then make money out of it, how you could regulate the charges or the toll booth charges. But before I do that with you, I'm going to share with you a mistake that I made. And I always like to share the mistakes so that those who enjoy this game may not find themselves in that particular spot. And it took me a lot of time to figure this out. I was even surprised. I didn't know what was happening. But at the end of the day, I had all the tools built up. And it's not because I didn't know how to do it, but I had wanted to use a strategy which I would also share with you in this video. So just stay along with me and then you get to hear about every gist that I have for you on the City Skyline game. And this is specifically on the toolbox section. So for those who are new to this game, you can find the beginning of the city. The link is in the description section and you could watch and then enjoy this game. So guys, let's get into it. All right, guys. So looking at the tool booth, I had already built some. You could see my income was already there, and I just wanted to find other ways and means to generate a lot of funds to cater for other things. Toll booths may not give you a lot of money, and this is because of how the city is planned or structured at the initial stages, right? Yeah, but it became very interesting when I realized that okay, I needed to be very strategic about this. One thing about City Skyline is if you're not strategic, you end up messing a lot of things up. And as you can see, I was finding it difficult building this particular toll booth. And that is also because I wanted to not really cheat the system, but get close to the main road, let people walk, drive through, and all that. But that was a big mistake that I was actually trying to make. It's a double lane highway. Why don't you target only one spot? And then at the end of the day, you could still make some money. So I started clearing some path and I realized that this wasn't really working out for me. So what I did was to demolish this particular toll booth at the end of the day. Yeah, so I built it this way at the initial stage and as time goes on, you see how I decided to demolish it or how I even demolished it. But before we look into this, let us look at some of the importance or the pros of having this toll booth. Yes, it reduces traffic. When you start building your city at a congested area, you realize that a lot of cars will be coming through the city. So once there are toll booths, it deters them from using that side, but those who want to drive closer will always pass through the toll booth to enter into the city or leave out of the city. So as you can see, my toll booth levies are still running. You could tell I wasn't seeing a lot of cars, so I told myself, no, I'm making a big mistake, then I need to um, go back to this and then position the toll booth at a very good point. So coming back to the process I was talking about, traffic is something that you don't want your city to be built around. You don't want to create a lot of traffic roads where the cars are not moving. Your citizens start complaining, and then some of them will actually move out. I mean, if you see your citizens moving out, it means you are going to lose taxes, you are going to lose money. Businesses are going to be shut down eventually. Yes, there are a lot of things that affect most of these decisions that you make, and that's because there's a trickle down effect on this. So, as part of the pros, it reduces the traffic, and also you get lots of income, and also there's some regulations on how the cars may want to use that particular toll booth. And the toll booth, there are different types of toll booth. We have the single lane toll booth, the double lane toll booth, the two-way toll booth, the one-way toll booth. Yeah. So it's up to you to know where to position it, which kind of toll booth that you want to use, and then you'll be good to go. So eventually, I had a toll booth running, and when you look at the video, you could see there were cars moving on the highway. So I told myself, no, that is the time to tap from there. And that way, all the roads that are moving, all the cars that are moving towards that particular road, we want to make a detour using the side because it's quite shorter. And I decided to bring a few industrial zones around the toll booth and certain services because that attracts the people or the drivers, those moving along your city. So it's a big advantage when you are building toll booths close to highways. But you have to also be careful because they may want to use a long road or go the other way and not use the toll booth. And is that happens when you have a lot of people complaining about the toll being high. So I try to regulate the toll, as you can see, just to make sure that it doesn't become a disincentive for my people. And this is what most people do not acknowledge when they are playing the City Skyline game. So I just wanted to connect the highways and see how people will maneuver and be using that side to get to my city. But at some point it worked, at some point it did not work, and eventually I got it right. So as part of the disadvantage of having toll booths, I would say relatively reduces the people coming into the city. Yes, once they see you built a lot of toll booths, they may want to go other place or use another side of the city, like any entry getting into the city, and that's because they don't want to pay it, especially when it's high, or especially when they see it's really not relevant. And that also happens when you've not actually built your city to that capacity, where there are a lot of people coming in, like your population is growing, so you tend to have few services, residents, industries, yeah. So that is it. So as part of the mistake that I made, I wanted to clear the roads, clear the residential areas, and then build a toll booth right from the main highway into the city. Yes, I couldn't do it not because I didn't get it right. It's because I realized no, I needed to demolish a lot of things. But I told myself, well, at the long run, I'm going to do it because I need to regulate that traffic here. And also, I also need to make some money from these toll booths. And this is what I tried doing at this point. And I told myself, no, it needs to connect to the city much better than this. Yeah. So, guys, it's really been exciting with my city. Um, we're six figures at this point, but for those who've been following, or if you've not followed, you could watch other videos, you realize that we are already within the seven figures. We just want to make the city great and also try to make the citizens happy. And once we make enough money or we generate enough money, we are going to build a new heaven where everything is going to be different. The entire particular zone is going to be very different. If you don't have enough money, you can't be doing all these things here. So, if you really want to understand how the tool booth works, yes, you could comment down below. I could go back to the City Skyline game and then give you a quick tutorial on how to go about it. But this video was just to demonstrate the importance of having the toll booths, the disadvantages, the advantages, how to go about it, and why I decided to build a toll booth at this particular point. So, guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to share the video. And if you are new here, please join this City Skyline family. We are going to grow, and I hope I get at least 100 subscribers for this particular video. We hope to see you in our next video. And if you have questions, make sure to comment so that we can be addressing them. We are building the family, and this is what we want to do. And if you are also a fan of City Skyline, you may have a lot of questions and how to go about it. One thing about this game is it makes you make rational decisions. You have to be very analytical and not jump into any project. You have to be very reasonable and also be thinking through at all times, right? So as part of this, I moved the tool booth to a very far end. So I just want you to enjoy this video as it keeps playing on. We'll see you in our next episode.